Hello. I am once again back with a new video. It's a Boys Season 7, Frenchie, the female, and the man called the Mother Milk. We know that in the Season 6, where Homelander got Compound V1, he is the most powerful one. But I don't know what he is doing. He's spending his time in rehearsing so he could prove that he is a god and the second coming of Jesus and all. He doesn't want to conquer the world with violence. He wants the world to worship him violently. I don't know what he would turn after that if people are not believing him. That's what makes him a scarier than a straightforward villain. He's not breaking things. He's building a religion around himself, and the congregation is growing. Meanwhile, we see deep in a deep trouble, Pun absolutely intended. After oil spilling, as consequences, the fish creatures he communicated with, the one who are supposed to be his allies and families, they hate him now. They blamed him for the death caused by the spills and their revenge. They want to eat him. There's something we have poetic about this. The one superpower Deep has, the one thing that makes him special, has turned against him completely. And then we get this storyline moment, a real person sinking, people screaming for the Deep to help him, but Deep assessing the situation and he just leaves. Okay, Deep, I think I want him to dead in next season. Then we come for Frenchie and Kimiko, the soul of this show. Now here what the episode earns its title, the Frenchie and Kimiko. If you have been from watching The Boys from season 1, you know these two are just characters. They're the emotional core of the entire show. Two broken people who found something worth protecting in each other. And now Butcher has put Kumika into a radiation experiment which a soldier boy has gone through in Russia. Butcher being Butcher, collateral damage doesn't register until it is standing right in front of him, and even then barely. Frenchie is terrified, Kimiko who is agreed to participate in this experiment. So Frenchie does something completely unexpected. He goes to Sage. Sage, who is the smartest person alive after this season 6, she thought that Soldier Boy would not give V1 to the Homelander, but her prediction is completely changed. So, love has confused her. She genuinely can't understand why people sacrifice everything for emotional attachment. It doesn't compute for her. And Frenchie shows up practically begging her to help me to save Kimiko, help me to make this experiment survivable. I cannot lose her. And Sage sits with that, studies it. Because of her, it's almost anthropological. Why does this man value one person's survival over mission success? Why does this feeling overrides rational calculations? She helps, maybe because it's a puzzle, maybe because even the smartest person in the world is capable of being moved by something she doesn't fully understand. And then we see Ashley and the prize of power. Backstage at what Ashley is running out of road in this conversation, quite one, and this show does better than almost anyone, where someone from her past essentially tell her stop. I mean, past means her back Ashley tell her to stop. Look at what you have become. You still have time to save yourself. And Ashley, she doesn't take it. She's too into power, the accessing the fear she commands. It's too addictive because she tells about the situation that she is not even on a school college election, but she is now a president. The betrayal that follows isn't dramatic, it's quite the worst kind. Then we see that Starlight and her health problem. Starlight is going through something this episode that I think a lot of people will relate to. She doesn't know where to ask for help, and there's back and forth. She's in crisis, she needs support, and there is Mary from Gen V crossover, and sometimes Starlight reaches her out. She tells for an help. She was genuinely helping Homecoming, what the theatrical review that was done by O Father and some soups guarding their psychic soups who are watching those people. He Starlight and Mother Meg saves the people, and Starlight watching all this makes her decision. She brings people and real people to the Gen before again have. I don't know what she has thought out of this. She still doesn't making sense now. Then mother's milk monologue. Now let's talk about this scene of this episode. Mother's Milk gets a monologue and is addressed that one question every viewer has been holding in season 5. Why is called the Mother's Milk? He explained calmly directly and then he says, with complete quietly sincerely that he doesn't care what anyone thinks about. The name is his, the story in his and his reason for being here, for fighting, for showing up every single day to a war he doesn't start. He loves to help people. Not because of vengeance, not because of ideology, not because he has nowhere else to go. He loves it. He is a man who is genuinely wants to protect people. In a show full of people pretending to be heroes, Mother Meg is just his one without a care. Bo, Butcher, Huey, and the finish line. Butcher and Huey hit a wall this episode. Literally, there is psychic mind control individual in their path, and the sequel that follows is more disorienting than thrilling. The mind control element doesn't land as hard as it could, but then Butcher says something. He looks at Hooky, barely conscious, probably defining past his limits, and says, "We are not the last, and I will make sure of that, even if I have to drag your dead carcass across the finish line." That line in Butcher is in one sentence. No ram, no apology, absolutely terrifying commitment. He doesn't do tenderness. He does mission, and somehow that is the most affection thing he is capable of saying. Then boy, come into the ending. Frenchie are complete. Homelander who tracks down Frenchie where the experiment with Kimiko is going there. Whatever Frenchie bragged and begged and sacrificed for work. Then Homelander has Frenchie and Frenchie doesn't bleed. He doesn't plead, he doesn't bargain. He looks as the most powerful being on earth and he gives absolutely nothing. It is because the people he is protecting are safe, his job is done. The uranium radiation from the experiment is already in his system, he is already dying. And the Homelander who feeds on fear, who needs submission, who reassess being a god, gets nothing from Frenchie. No terror, no worship, no nothing. Frustrated, powerless in one way or the other, Homelander just flies away. Frenchie just dies and his arc is complete. That's it. We would see how the finale, the last episode would go. Thank you, and all.